Hi, this is Genesis Ward on behalf of Nana's Quilt Cottage in Old Colorado City, Colorado. I would like to tell you a little bit more about this 2 times around cutting board and ironing board. This was designed with a quilter in mind. With a 16-inch diameter cutting surface and ironing board, you can do most of all of your piecing for your quilts all on this space, and it's compact, so it will sit right next to your sewing machine. So if you had a square that, let's say you just put this together and now you need to press your seams apart as well as be able to cut them. I'm going to start off on my ironing board side. This comes with a canvas cover with 2 layers of batting on the underneath. I'm going to iron my seam and then press it. If you should want to use any type of spray, whether it be water by itself or some of the other products that you can use to flatten down the material more or take any wrinkles out, feel free to do so, because the batting that's on the underneath is going to protect the wood as well as the sealant that is on the wood itself. So once you have this pressed open, now you want to square it up. So you can flip it over to the other side and either use your lines that are on the board, either if you don't have a ruler that would be adequate enough to be able to just use the lines on your ruler, or just to get a good estimate to see, is this piece looking like it's the size that it should be, or do you have to make some adjustments? These lines can be pretty helpful either by eyeballing your projects or to actually be able to trim up your projects. So if I used my ruler in a method like so to be able to trim down my piece, I'm just going to take a little bit off of this. I'll line up my 3 3/4 line here, and then my 2 1/4 line down here on the material, giving myself a little bit of wiggle room, and I can press down to trim my piece. Before you let go of your ruler, make sure that it's fully trimmed. Now you can turn the board itself versus having to pick up your ruler and your piece and having to turn that, or being in an awkward position with your wrist. So now I've got that piece trimmed, and I can do the same for the other side. I wanted to also discuss some of the other features of the board with you, the internal components of it, if you will. It has a total weight of 4 pounds and 3 ounces, so it's very easy to be able to flip back and forth. Let's say that you needed to take your cover off, because this happens to be one of the designer covers that comes with the board, is extra. So for this type of a cover, it would be $9.99. The cover that comes with the board from the start is going to be a neutral material of some sort. It'll either be a tan or maybe a light blue, just something that would go with more decors than, say, a customized one like this. And then you can purchase the additional ones for $9.99. To get the cover off, I'm going to gently go in. This is just with the, I'm going to have to do this off camera a little bit. This is with the flathead screwdriver that I use for my sewing machine. And I just come up underneath that lip and up and over. Then I'm going to slide it to the left and to the right, and this will help get the cover off without you damaging it, because it is on there pretty tight. So that way, as you're moving the board back and forth, there's not going to be any fabric that gets trapped in between the cutting board and the ironing board. So once you take this apart and you first get it, when I make them, I do put a basting spray on top of the wood to be able to attach the batting, so when you put your cover on or off, that it'll hold it in place a little bit to make changing out your covers easier. But over time, when the heat gets to this batting, or the basting spray underneath the batting, I should say, it's going to start to wear away a little bit more, or become less tacky, essentially. And if you wanted to even take and wash both of these, you can just pull it right up and put them into the washing machine without a problem. The only reason that basting spray is there is just to help you put the cover on a little bit easier. Now, this wood board does have 2 coats of a waterproof sealant on top of it. So if you should happen to have an accident and dump your whole entire iron onto, or it leaks all over as you're ironing your piece, not only do you have, this larger 16-inch diameter surface of the batting, 2 layers to kind of soak up all of that water, but if it should happen to make it through the wood board, it's not going to penetrate in through it. And even though I would suggest, if you did something like that, use your iron to go across the whole entire board to kind of get all of that water steamed up and out to help it dry it that way, and then take off your cover and everything and clean up any residual moisture on the board that might be there. But if you did happen to leave it there for a little bit longer, this is going to last you a while because it does have that coating on top of it. And if you were to dump water directly onto here, you'll see that it kind of beads up on the surface versus actually soaking into the wood. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on here and steam over that area just to wick up any of that moisture. To put your cover back on, I'm going to put it just barely over the edge and slowly work this from side to side. This cover is pretty tight on here, again, so it makes sure that it turns properly, but it can be somewhat difficult to be able to get it on and off. So just slowly work it down a little bit from side to side. And then if you happen to find that, say, your batting got crumpled up in there on one of your sides as you were coming around, I would just take my flathead screwdriver and lift it up just in that area where it's got that little wrinkle, and then smooth it back down again and put the cover up and over it. From this point, anything that would be like this, you can kind of just like press it out and turn it to kind of work it around in place. And then as soon as you start with your ironing, it will work itself all out. If I did this a little bit looser, so that way it would be easier for you to put it on, it would risk not having it turn so well on the side. So just be careful with it and it will last you a while. Or as I said, if you want to switch them out because you want to have like stuff, maybe a spring pattern or a winter pattern, what have you, you change your decor in your work area and want to have something else that makes you smile, then we do have more covers available for $9.99. The whole board itself, like I said, that comes with the nude cover, would be $99.99. I will put the link in the bottom of the description for Nana's Quilt Cottage where you can pick this up. We do ship them, or you could have local delivery as well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comments box. My name is Genesis Ward, and again, I'm coming to you on behalf of Nana's Quilt Cottage in Old Colorado City, Colorado. Hope to see you guys soon, and we would love to help you out with your project.